Talk about the summer and what the team has been doing.
The summer's definitely been an exciting one. It's a lot of change, but at the same time, we're definitely embracing it, or we did embrace it very very well. We got a new weight room, and this was our first summer with our new head strength coach Dave Scholes, and he's kind of made his mark already, and it's an exciting thing just to see, just because I mean, one thing that he was very big on was nutrition, and with that, everyone dropped a lot of body fat and all that, and I've definitely seen a lot of results, and I'm hoping all this hard work is gonna kind of show up on the field tomorrow, and at the end of the day, produce wins.
Did you have to give up a certain food?
I didn't per se. I guess I gave up bread because I never really ate a whole lot of it, but at the same time, it was it was a big transformation. The entire team made a big transformation, and we all saw results, and it's an exciting thing to see.
What is the mindset of the team heading into this season following last year's very successful year?
The mindset is the mindset hasn't really changed too much since the past season. We're still just as hungry. Uh, I'd say now we're kind of fighting complacency, if anything, just because we know we had a good season last year, but now we're really just trying to improve upon it. And I know we only lost 2 games, but at the same time, those are 2 games that we could have won, and that's definitely in the back of everyone's minds, and we're definitely looking to improve.
Doesn't being in a new conference now, a better conference, kind of focus that a little bit more? I mean, your attention to detail and all that kind of stuff, doesn't that get you a little bit more focused?
It does a little bit, but at the same time, we can't really change our views just because we're changing into a different conference. The beautiful thing about it is because of where we're located, we've already played some of these Mountain West teams. We played UNLV, we played Colorado State, and 2 years ago we played Wyoming. So it's not like we're playing brand new competition, but at the same time, because the conference is a little bit better, we're kind of putting a little bit more of a pedestal on the conference, and they definitely deserve it.
Talk about the transition with coaches here.
Transition, it was one that kind of shocked us at first, to be completely honest, but at the same time, we took it all in stride. We're happy with who we have right now. We have a lot of confidence in Coach Wells, and we know that he's going to lead us to bigger and better things. And all we can really do is just follow along. And he's one of those coaches that's really going to push us. And he's one of those coaches that is always looking for perfection. And I think it's a good thing to see after we go 11-2, after we've had a very very successful season. 5 points, 5 points in a book doesn't seem like a lot, but to Coach Wells and to the rest of this team now, 5 points is a huge thing. 5 points is maybe one more rep at a certain lift or a certain positional work or something like that. So we're all taking in what his mentality is, and we're kind of running away with it.
Talk about how the offense will be different with the loss of running back Kerwin Williams, tight end Kellen Bartlett, and receivers Austin and Jacobs.
Yeah. Losing those guys. First of all, it was great to play with them. That's one thing that they had a lot of leadership, and they had a lot of passion for the game, and that's the reason why all 4 of them got a chance to play on the next level. But losing them is going to be a little bit tough, but at the same time, that just means that 4 new guys are going to get the opportunity to step up and make a name for themselves. And I'm definitely happy with the pieces we have around and the pieces that we have to kind of take in those spots or take those spots. And we definitely have the guys who can not only do their job, but do a little bit better than what those guys did a year ago. And I mean, everyone's buying into the system, and we have a lot of unselfish guys. That's one thing that's very beautiful about this team, and I think overall the guys that we have right now are gonna not only produce but find a way to help us win tight games at the end of the day.
How comfortable now are you with this offense? Third year now.
Yeah, third year. It's definitely it's an experience. I kind of try and flash back a little bit to high school, but I know it's completely different. And I think one thing that I'm very comfortable with is the guys that I have in front of me. All 5 of my offensive linemen are coming back, and it's an amazing thing to see. I know first of all that we have a lot of trust in each other, and I think if anything, the only thing that they don't trust about me is that they know when the ball is going to come out, just because they know I can extend plays a little bit more, but I know that they're willing to block a little bit longer because of that. And I mean, we have Joe Hill behind us or behind the offensive line, and he's going to take off with whatever hole they give him. And it's an amazing thing. The inner workings of this offense is incredible when you really look at it. And I'm blessed to be able to have the guys around me that were able to teach me everything about it. And I think if we all stay on the same page and we all stay committed to this system, then we're going to have a great offensive year.
What's one area you're trying to improve on?
The area I'm trying to improve on is my timing with our receivers, and that's one thing that's definitely big for any team at that. But just seeing new faces and knowing how each guy gets out of a break or out of a cut, and knowing how each guy runs as far as speed wise, it's one thing that's kind of takes a second to get used to, but all the hard work that we had this spring and this summer has definitely paid off. And we had some player run practices, and we've had a little bit of just throwing around, and you can definitely see that what we've worked on is kind of coming out and coming to fruition just because of how quickly the ball's coming out, and as soon as they turn their head, the ball's right there and they can get right upfield.
You've touched on it, but you got all 5 guys coming back on the offensive line. I'm sure you're not going to disagree that they might be the best offensive line in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk about your O-line.
Yeah, from Kyle and Kevin Wimpy all the way to Tyler Larson, I definitely think all these guys are talented. And the great thing is that they know that they're talented, but it doesn't let them stop from working hard. Every single day that they're in this camp, I already know automatically they're going to be working their butts off every single day. And that's one thing that I take a lot of pride in, because I'm behind them all the time. And even when they don't see something, they know that the guy next to them, whether it be Jamie or Tyler or Eric Schultz, they're going to tell them, well, hey, you need to pick it up on this, or, well, we need to pass that a little bit deeper. And really, they kind of do my dirty work, because personally, I'm not a huge fan of yelling at somebody. But, I mean, worst case scenario, they know that I'm going to be right there as well to kind of like get into them. And they understand that it's all for the better. It's all for the better, not only of the offense, but of the team as a whole. And this attitude they have is kind of contagious. And I think that it's definitely going to lead us a long way down the road.
What's it like to quarterback against your defense? What's that like in practice on a daily basis?
Sometimes it's not fun. I'll tell you that. It's funny. We were just watching film a minute ago, and I was actually asking them about a blitz that they ran during spring, just because I knew it had beat us a few times. And even then, they didn't want to tell me. And it's kind of one of those things that, even though it's within the same team, it's a lot of pride within one team. And so on the field, it's kind of like bad blood. But as soon as we get off the field, it's back to being brothers. And that's one thing that's great about this team. We're a locker room full of competitors, and it definitely comes out on Saturdays and Fridays, and it produces a lot.
Give me one name on offense you expect to have a big year.
Joe Hill. I think one thing that has kind of been, or the trend that's kind of been set recently, is we're always going to have a good running back. And I think Joe knows that, and he kind of takes some pride in that as well. So it's really kind of his job to keep developing, and at the end of the day, to execute and perform. And coming from Robert Turbin to Michael Smith to Kerwin Williams, now Joe Hill, it's kind of his time. And with that, Joe, as well as Robert Marshall, as well as Joey DiMartino, those two seniors, they push all the other guys with them. And so not only are they pushing Joe, who's should be our starter this year, but we have, 4 or 5 other running backs that just came in or that haven't gotten a whole lot of experience. They're pushing them to the fullest. In this entire summer, they're in the meeting room going over basic plays. and then basic plays lead to the more complex plays, because a complex play is really just a whole bunch of basic plays in one. And that's one group that's year in, year out, in my opinion, that's always going to show up.
Finally, talk about your thoughts with being promoted for the Heisman Trophy this year.
It's definitely it's something that I never thought would really happen. Just because it's such like an out of there type of thought. But I mean, I'm definitely excited to kind of have that tag along with my name. But it's how I see it is really, the Heisman isn't for Chuckie Keeton, it's for the Utah State team. Last time I checked, Robert Griffin had a really good team. They won, 10, 11 games. Johnny Manziel last year, I think they won 11 games. They won 11-2. And so, honestly, the Heisman tag is nice, but as long as I can get wins out of it. I don't really care about the Heisman overall, but as long as we come up with wins at the end of the day, I'd rather say the Utah State Aggies national championship versus Utah State Aggies have a Heisman Trophy winner. And it's kind of crazy. I know a lot of people won't believe me, but teammates talk about the Heisman Trophy a lot more than I do. And I mean, all I can really do is kind of be the face of it. But at the end of the day, it's really the Utah State Aggies that really influence it the most.
And then do you have a message for Aggie fans?
It's going to be an exciting year. I'd say we need to get this place sold out every game, because I don't think there's really going to be a game that is afforded to miss. It's going to be an exciting year, and look forward to producing a lot of wins.